in the very least, I think Western civilization is desperately calling for that right now because so many of our institutions are dying because they're based on a story that not enough people believe in anymore. Whether
Yeah.
you want to say that that's the church, the Bible, because that was the sort of pillar of the center pillar of Western civilization for a long time, or whether you want to say science. A lot of people are a little skeptical of science these days for some good and some not so good reasons. It's kind of a gray area. Politics, for a long time, there was sort of this idea of like, oh well, if we all work together, it'll go well. And before the current sort of political chaos that's going on, a lot of people were very skeptical of politics, of the social structure of the government as kind of holding that legitimate rulership. That's another form of meaning, that legitimate rulership. It's a story that we tell ourselves, even if it doesn't have a, beginning, middle, and end, it's still a cohesive thing.
Yeah.
And we don't have that right now for whatever reason. My hope is ours is going through some sort of a alchemical process, sort of a death and a rebirth, sort of something new is coming, so something old has to die for the new thing to come through. And death is a painful process, and we're going through a lot of pain right now, but it's my hope that it's because something new is coming and that the something new is, well, I'll actually rephrase that real quick and then I'll stop talking. I've been talking for a bit. Um, Something new is coming. I don't think that's deniable. I hope it's something good. And I think that the thing that makes the difference between it being good and bad is how much we willingly participate in the birth process of trying to make sense of this new thing and bring it forth in ourselves as best as we can. If we can do that, we ensure every person that does that ensures it's better by like that their own personal little effort. And maybe enough
Mm.
of us together can kind of create some sort of a overflowing, some sort of a, a little John in the spring moment. Only let's not smash down doors and maybe not steal from the sheriff if we don't have to. Unless the sheriff's being naughty, then we take from the sheriff. Um, but yeah, that's I did say I was going to stop, so I'm going to stop.
No, I think that's very good. Yeah. Uh, I think it's Harold Bloom, Yale literary scholar. Anyway, last name Bloom,
Harold, yeah.
been talking about how we don't have shared myths anymore. I think he's been talking about this since the 1990s or maybe earlier. And yeah, and you say shared stories, and I'm thinking yes, and especially even shared myths, something that John Vervaeke has talked about a myth as not in our and this definition shows our meaning crisis because we tend to think of myth as something that didn't happen that is an explanation of natural phenomena that ignorant people in the past shared with each other because they didn't know what volcanoes came from or whatever, you know. But John Vervaeke, is maybe more of a Jungian kind of definition of a uh, a uh, uh, a perennial pattern in human life, and so it's this story that doesn't make sense because on the surface because people don't come from snakes and what the hell is this even about? But yeah, psychologically and sociologically and so forth, it's a myth that came in that's a distillation like you're talking about from the people from the group and some and this is where the two definitions of genius I think come the genius of the people and then some individual geniuses that are able to tap into that and to articulate it in a particularly good way a Homer or even maybe a Shakespeare would be something like that where they can articulate it succinctly and that it sticks and the people go yeah this is the thing and it proliferates and it yeah unites everybody with this sort of shared myth.
Yeah. Yeah, I got